Internet land. It's your girl Jerry Tolliver here, CEO of Black Credit. Hope y'all are doing wonderful on this Tuesday morning here. Depending on where you are, if you're watching this from the East Coast, this may be afternoon time for you. So I hope you all are doing wonderful today. I want to talk to you all about some home ownership today. Home ownership. We are in the beginning of 2020. And a lot of people want to buy homes. A lot of people want to claim the keys to those dream cribs. They want to stop renting. They want to start building some equity. They want to start building some wealth. And so I want to talk to you all about that today. How you can claim your keys to your dream home. How you can step into home ownership this year in 2020. I'm really excited about this because, home ownership was really the first step for me. Really understanding, wow, this is really the first step to wealth. Really owning something, right? And so what I want to do is talk to you all about 5 proven steps, okay? 5 of them is going to get yourself closer to home ownership, and it's going to be stress-free because the homeowners process, the whole home buying process can be really, really stressful. I bought my home back in 2015, and it wasn't until 2014 that I really decided that home ownership was going to be my next step. I was tired of renting, first of all. And I had also ran across this concept of owning your own dwelling. I don't know if you guys have ever heard my story before, but prior to me starting Black Credit, I had really, really bad credit scores, and I couldn't get approved for too much of anything until I picked up a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And guys, man, I rave about this book all the time because this book really changed my life. And so The Richest Man in Babylon taught me that owning your own dwelling, owning your own home is really one of the first steps to wealth, because that's something that you can pass down for generations to come, right? You can pass your home down to your children or your children's children and so on. You can't pass an apartment down to somebody else, right? You can't pass your apartment down to your children. You can't pass your apartment down to your grandchildren and children's children and so on, right? And so when I heard that concept of owning your own dwelling, I was like, well, of course this makes sense, because most of us are probably spending about 60% of our income on the place that we live, right? Where we're renting our apartments. And if you're spending 60% in rent and you're not going to own anything down the line, then I'm not a big fan of that idea. And a lot of people that are wealthy aren't really a fan of that idea either. One of my mentors, her name is Danny Johnson, the first thing that she told me was that if you really want to be wealthy, the first thing you need to do is go buy a house. And it doesn't have to be this big, extravagant, like 5-bedroom, $3.5 billion house. It's just buying a starter home, right? Buying something that you can call your own, something that you can rent out, pass down to generations, build some wealth. That's really the first step. So I want to give you guys 5 ways on how you can start doing that today. So if I've got some homeowners in the house, the people that are like, I'm going to claim my spot in homeownership, I just want to drop it down in the comments. Who's going to be a homeowner in 2020? Say me, if that's going to be you. If that's going to be you in 2020, I want you guys to drop me in the comments, or drop a house emoji, something, so that I'll know that is your goal for 2020. If you're watching this in replay land, just say #replay. Hey, Brianna. Hey, Biz. Hey, Waldale. Hey, Charlize. So nice to see you. So nice to see you guys. So nice to see you guys here. So I want to talk to you all about how you can start preparing yourself for home ownership. Because here's the deal. Buying a house is probably the most expensive thing you're going to purchase in your lifetime. And so buying a house is something that you should definitely take seriously. It's not like shopping for an apartment. This is a commitment. And commitments are going to require some time. You guys can hear me okay, because my mic isn't working that good. So let me know if you can't hear me okay, but you guys should be all right, good. So if you guys can hear me okay, great. So the first thing you got to know is, if this is your biggest purchase, okay, the biggest purchase that you're going to make probably ever in your life. And so it's really important that you take this very, very seriously, because this is where you're going to live forever. And so in knowing that, the first thing you got to do is research, prepare yourself for that step. Because I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to buy a home. Quite frankly, they want your whole life in documents. So you're going to need tax returns. You're going to need bank statements. You're going to need your whole financial life right there in front of a lender in order to get the pre-approval. So the first thing you got to do is prepare. Now, what does preparing look like? Well, preparing looks like saving some money and getting your credit together, okay? Those are the first 2 things, is saving some money and getting your credit together, because the first thing you got to realize is that you're going to have to put a down payment down, right? That doesn't necessarily have to be 20%. I bought my house with 3.5% down, okay? 3.5% is all I had to put down. I got a first-time homeowner's loan, and so only had to put 3.5% down. So you don't have to put down a whole lot of money in order to buy a house. So if you buy a, $100,000 house, what's 3.5% of $100,000? About $3,500. And in some cases, you can get credits and all this other stuff, so that you don't really have to come out of your pocket a lot of money. I think I only came out of my pocket about $2,000. When I bought my house. I didn't have to pay for closing costs, so that was sweet. However, you should know that closing costs isn't always included. So you may have to save up for closing costs. You're going to save up for a down payment. You're going to save up for earnest money. You're going to save up for appraisal. You're going to save up for quite a few things. So you're going to have to save some money. Now, we're in tax season right now, right? Right now, we're in the middle or the very, very beginning of tax season. So the best thing that you could do to prepare yourself right now is save your tax money. If you want to go buy a house, put that tax money towards a down payment on a house, or save it, put it away so that you can have some money to put down on your new house, okay? So save your money, put some money away for your down payment, put some money away so that you can have some money so that you can come to the table with and close on your home. The second thing you got to do is get your credit together. Now, granted, you can buy a house with like a 580 credit score. Would I recommend it? No, not at all. I wouldn't, simply because you're not going to get the best rates, right? And I'm always gunning for you getting the best rates. I'm always gunning for you to get the best of the best. I'm always preaching for you to not settle. So don't settle for the worst rates. Don't settle just to get into a house. Get the best rates. So get your scores to a minimum, okay? A minimum of 640, okay? A minimum of 640. You get some pretty decent rates, okay? Anything above that, you'll get even better rates. So you need to shoot for good credit. Now, what you should know is if you do not have good credit, I am the plug. I can show you how to raise your credit scores. So if your credit is poor right now, y'all, I had a 545 credit score 4 years ago, and I've now just reached 850 last year. So there's one thing that I know how to help you get your credit scores right. So if you're struggling with your credit, if your scores aren't that great, if you're getting stuck with the worst rates, then I can help you with overcoming that struggle. So if you need to do that, schedule a consultation directly, flycredit.com/consultation, and we can help you with getting your credit right. Because could you imagine if you have better credit scores, you'll get better rates, and better rates means that you're going to save money across the life of the loan. Now, what's the life of the loan? 30 years or 15 years. Either way, you're going to be paying on this house for a while. So the best thing you could do is position yourself to save money. And the only way that you're going to save money is if you raise your credit scores and secure better rates, okay? Now, I actually teach people how you can pay your mortgage off in less than 10 years. I'm on track to pay my mortgage off in the next 4 years. And I'll be so happy when I do. When I do, I'll show it to you so that you know it is real. But you can pay a 30-year mortgage off in less than 10 years if you get your credit right. I can teach you how to leverage your credit. So the first thing you got to do is what? Save money. Save money. Step 2, get your credit right. If your credit is not right, then you need to be scheduling a consultation right away. Step 3 is you need to pay off any of your debt, or try to get your debt to a minimum, all right? So if you have student loan debt, I'm sorry, my friends, but it's going to get in your way. Student loan debt is going to get in your way, especially if it's defaulted. Now, I'm not a loan officer. I have a lot of loan officer friends that can tell you how your student loans are going to affect your rates, or how it's going to affect your approval, I guess, rates. But what you should know is if you have loads of student loans, it is going to stand in your way of buying a house. Now, if I have any mortgage lenders in the comments, please enlighten us on what they need to know so that everybody can move their way towards better credit and getting themselves the keys to their dream home. But you got to pay off your debt. So if you got a lot of credit card debt, you need to pay that down. If you have just a lot of outstanding debt and it's eating away at your income, your debt to income ratio, then you need to start paying your debt down. The easiest thing that you could do is pay your credit card debt down, because your credit card debt is really what's having a major impact on your credit scores. So if your overall credit debt, if you have, 30% or more of utilization on your credit cards, you need to pay those bad boys down, because once you do, you're going to have an immediate increase in your credit scores. So pay your debt down. If your student loans are defaulted, if your student loans are, if you haven't paid on them and they're late, we need to clean that up. Now, if you don't know where to start, I'll be talking about student loans tomorrow. So if you're struggling with student loans, if they're defaulted, if you're getting your wages garnished, we're going to talk about student loans tomorrow. Okay, so if that's standing in your way, no problem. You got quite a couple of options that you can move forward with when it comes to student loans, but we'll touch on that tomorrow. But you got to start paying off your debt. This goes for credit card debt. This goes for car loans. This goes for student loans, any kind of debt. You need to start paying that down immediately. And then once you do, once you get your credit right, once you got enough money saved, once you pay your debt down, then you can move forward into the pre-qualification stage. Pre-qualification. Now, I got to be honest with you. I have a lot of real estate friends. And one thing that they always tell me is they're sometimes frustrated with people that ask for to go shopping for homes, but they don't have a pre-approval. Now, I made this mistake actually the first time that I went to go look for a house because I thought that all you need to do is go find the house and then go buy it. No, you actually got to go find the money first. So you need to go find a trustworthy lender and then ask them for a pre-qualification. Once you get the pre-approval for the loan, then you'll get like a little document that says, oh my God, Kia has been pre-approved for a ABC Bank, right? So you get this documentation, you'll take it to the lender, you'll take it to a real estate agent, and the real estate agent will see, oh, you got the pre-approval. That means, what that signifies is that your credit is good enough to get approved, okay? Because they're, you know, the pre-approval is like a soft qualified for one. So go get the pre-approval first so that you can find out what you can qualify for, and then you guys can go shopping and go get your keys. And then the fifth tip that you guys need to know is that homeownership requires teamwork, okay? It's going to require a real estate agent. It's going to require a loan officer. It's going to require a real estate lawyer. It's going to require an appraiser. It's going to require, a home inspector. It's going to require a team. And so it's very, very important that the people that you connect with, they are, that they're seasoned. The people that you work with, they actually want to help. The people that you work with, they're by your side, they lock arms, and they're there to help you, get your house. My experience with buying my house, it was okay. My real estate agent didn't show up to the closing, so that was kind of a bummer. And for the most part, I kind of felt like I did most of the work. I was looking for the houses myself and, doing all the heavy lifting myself, which I don't necessarily mind. But if you guys really want somebody that'll hold your hand, make sure you really do your due diligence. Make sure that the people that you connect with are who they say they are. Make sure that they are professional. Make sure that the people that they work with are professional too, and that they're really on top of their game. They're answering phone calls. They're returning phone calls. They're returning emails, because you'll be amazed, y'all, how many people you may run across that are not very professional people that are really just in it to cash in on that closing check. And they're not really there, to give you a good experience. Like I said, buying your first home is going to be one of the biggest investments that you make. And so this experience should be a good one. It should be a memorable one that you don't forget, one where you'll be happy to refer other people to that particular person. So, homeownership could really be, 2-3 steps away from where you are today. It's just about properly preparing yourself to take that step. Because right now you may be renting, and renting isn't building you equity. Renting isn't building you wealth. If anything, your rent's probably going up every year and you're complaining about it because you could be putting that money towards a home. You could be putting that money towards something that you could own in the future. And you can't pass down any rental property. You can't pass down somebody else's space. You just can't do that. And so what I would encourage you guys to do is, my mentor taught me, buy a house. It does not have to be, this fancy house, buy a fixer-upper. Buy something where, you know, you can come in, change the carpet, paint the walls, and you'll be good to go. Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay a lesser amount of money if you do it that way, rather than paying for a newly renovated home. So, you know, kind of think through, you know, what you want in a house, and then determine what's really important to you. Because if it's important for it to be affordable, if it's important for you to, you know, own something in the future, if it's important for you to not go broke living in a place that you can call home, then I would say go for it. Because rent is not decreasing anytime soon. Rent is probably never ever going to decrease. But my mortgage has not increased since I've been here, and I have been here for 5 years now. I've been here for 5 years, and my mortgage has been the same. So I can't necessarily say the same when I was renting, but it has been that way since I've been a homeowner. And I have built a little over $40,000 of equity in my house so far too. I have not touched it yet, but you know, I'm just kind of weighing the pros and cons and figuring out what I want to do. But just know that you have some flexibility, you have some options when you become a homeowner, because at that point you have an asset, something that you can leverage. And so step number one, if y'all jumping in late, if you want to become a homeowner, if you're tired of renting, if you want to get your own spot, then the first thing you got to do is save some money. Okay, budget your money. Put away your tax return if you're going to get one. All right, if you get a tax return, save it, put it away, put some money away so that you can get your down payment going. Step two, if you do not have good credit, get your credit scores right. If you don't have like a 640 and above, start working on that immediately. If you need help with that, schedule a consultation and we'll be happy to help. Step three is pay down your debt. So if you have credit card debt, student loan debt, pay that stuff off. Okay, you got to pay it off. If you struggle with student loans, we'll be talking about that tomorrow, so you can tune into tomorrow's session. Number four, get the pre-approval from the bank. Get the pre-approval from the lender first that says, hey, it's a piece of paper that says Jerry has been pre-qualified for $120,000 from ABC Bank. Give it to your real estate agent and they will be happy to take you shopping. And then the last tip is build a strong team, or connect with someone that already has a strong team. That way you'll be able to get to the closing table much faster. You'll be able to save a lot more money, and you'll have a very, very good first buying experience. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys a copy of a checklist. All right, I put together a checklist to help you kind of streamline your way to getting yourself to homeownership. I left the comment. I left the link in the description. It is a free home buyers checklist. It's a 5-point checklist. It's going to get you prepared. So if you can't check off every single box, then you may be missing a couple of steps. Now, granted, not all the steps apply to everybody. If you're self-employed, then you know some of the steps apply to you. If you're not, then some of the steps apply to someone else. But just download the checklist, because checklist is free and it's going to help you prepare for that next step of home ownership. I want to see people get the keys to the dream homes. I want to see those pictures. I want to see those keys. I want to see those smiles on those faces. I want to see you guys start building wealth. Because really home ownership and getting property and assets is the first step. So, and you know, buying your first home could really be the starting point, the pinnacle moment in your life that things could truly change for you and your family. So I left those links in the description, my friends. You've got the home buyers checklist. If you want to get more in depth and start working on your credit immediately, you can download the Flawless Credit Guide for $7. If you want to get some more in-depth coaching, one-on-one training, then you can schedule a consultation, or you can jump in on our credit accelerator training that we're having this month, next Monday, as a matter of fact. So we'll be closing that soon. But if you want in on that, you can click the links in the description. Tomorrow we're going to jump back in with some student loan info. But until then, if you got some good information, feel free to share the video with some people that you know, love, and trust. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the subscribe button, and you'll get all of the notifications of all the great videos and information that we share. But I appreciate you all once again. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And again, this is Jerry at Fly Credit, and I'll see y'all next time.